You've been ignoring this small coin your entire life, but one version of it could be hiding a detail that turns it into a life-changing discovery. Most people think all dimes are the same, but one tiny difference on this coin can completely change its value in ways you would never expect. Most people think that only old coins can be valuable, something from the 1800s or maybe early 1900s. But what if I told you that even a very recent coin like the 2021 P Roosevelt dime could surprise you in ways you never expected? Right now, as you listen to this, there's a high chance you've already seen this coin in your change without ever giving it a second thought. The 2021 P dime looks completely ordinary at first glance. It is small, silver-colored, and easy to ignore. Roosevelt's portrait is on the front, calm and familiar, just like every other dime you've seen in circulation. On the back, the torch stands tall, flanked by olive and oak branches, symbols of peace and strength that have been part of the design for decades. But behind this familiar design lies a modern coin that still carries hidden surprises for those who know what to look for. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by a small P mint mark on the obverse side near the date. That tiny letter is more important than most people realize. It tells the story of where the coin was made and helps collectors track variations between mints. The Philadelphia Mint has been producing coins for over 2 centuries, and in 2021, it was operating with some of the most advanced minting technology in history. The 2021 P dime is part of the modern clad coin series, meaning it is not made of silver. Instead, it consists of a copper core sandwiched between layers of copper-nickel alloy. It weighs exactly 2.27 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. These specifications are tightly controlled to ensure every coin is uniform, but even with modern precision, perfection is never guaranteed. In 2021, the U.S. Mint produced billions of coins for everyday circulation. Dimes like this were made quickly and efficiently to keep up with demand in stores, banks, vending machines, and cash transactions across the country. Because of this massive production scale, most 2021 P dimes are extremely common and still only worth face value. But in the world of coin collecting, common does not always mean worthless. What makes coins like this interesting is not their age, but their condition and tiny variations. Some coins survive in perfect, mint state condition, meaning they were never used in circulation. These coins retain their original shine, sharp edges, and untouched surfaces. Over time, these flawless examples become increasingly desirable because so few survive without scratches or wear. Collectors pay close attention to the torch design on the reverse side of the dime. The vertical lines of the torch and the horizontal bands must be fully visible and well separated for a coin to receive a full torch designation. This detail might seem small, but it is one of the most important quality markers in modern Roosevelt dime collecting. A weak strike or slight work can hide these details completely. Now imagine holding a 2021 P dime under bright light. At first, it looks normal, but then you notice something different. The luster is stronger than usual. The strike is unusually sharp. The torch bands appear fully defined, almost crisp like they were freshly minted moments ago. That is the kind of subtle difference that makes collectors stop and take a closer look. Modern coins like this can also contain mint errors, and even small errors can dramatically increase collector interest. These might include slight doubling on letters, minor misalignments, or unusual strike characteristics caused during the high-speed minting process. While most of these errors are rare, they are not impossible to find, especially in coins that are still relatively new to circulation. In some collector markets, high-grade examples of the 2021 P dime, especially those with exceptional strike quality or minor verified mint errors, have been estimated to reach values around $950. While this is not typical, it shows how even modern coins can sometimes break expectations when condition and rarity align perfectly. But the real fascination with this coin is not just about potential value. It is about awareness. Think about how many people receive change every day and never look twice at it. Coins are passed from hand to hand, machine to machine, completely unnoticed. Most 2021 P dimes will spend their entire life as 10-cent pieces without anyone ever realizing if they were slightly better struck or preserved than the rest. That is where collectors step in. They look for the smallest differences that most people would never notice. a slightly sharper edge, a stronger shine, a cleaner surface. These tiny details are what separate ordinary coins from collectible ones. It is a world where patience and observation matter more than luck. The Philadelphia Mint's role in this process is also important. Unlike branch mints that use mint marks like D or S, Philadelphia uses the P mint mark on modern dimes. This helps collectors identify production origin and compare quality between different mints. Over time, patterns emerge, and certain mint years or locations can become more desirable based on strike quality or error frequency. As the years go by, the condition of circulated 2021 P dimes will continue to decline. Coins that once looked fresh and shiny will slowly become scratched, dull, and worn. This natural aging process means that high-grade examples will become harder to find in the future, increasing their appeal to collectors who specialize in modern coinage. And here is something most people never think about. Every coin tells a story of movement. A 2021 P dime could have been used in a grocery store in one city, then traveled across states inside cash drawers, vending machines, or bank rolls. Each scratch, each mark, is part of its journey through the economy. But a few coins escaped that journey almost untouched, preserving the exact moment they were created. In the highest collector grades, a perfectly preserved 2021 P dime with exceptional strike quality and eye appeal can reach surprising attention in the numismatic world, with standout examples achieving values up to $35,000 in rare, certified cases. Not because of silver or gold content, but because of rarity in perfection and demand among serious collectors. So the next time you receive change, don't dismiss the small coins in your hand. Take a closer look. Rotate them under the light. Check the details. That ordinary-looking 2021 P dime might not be as ordinary as it seems. It could be a modern piece of minting history hiding in plain sight. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe, because the next coin we uncover might already be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for someone to finally notice its hidden value. And now, as we reach the end of today's story, take one last moment to think about what you've just learned. That small dime you've probably ignored your entire life is not just metal. It is a silent witness to history, movement, and precision engineering that most people never truly notice. Somewhere right now, in a jar, in a wallet, or even in your pocket, a coin like this could be sitting completely unnoticed, waiting for the right eyes to recognize it. The truth is, coin collecting is not just about money or value. It is about awareness. It is about slowing down in a world that moves too fast and realizing that even the smallest objects can carry hidden meaning. The 2021 P dime, just like many modern coins, reminds us that rarity is not always about age. It is about condition, survival, and the tiny details that separate ordinary from extraordinary. So before you go, take a moment and check your change. Look closely at the coins you usually ignore, because the next discovery doesn't always come from a museum or a collector's album. Sometimes, it comes from your own pocket. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because in the next episode, we are going even deeper into hidden coin secrets that could change the way you look at everyday money forever. Imagine finding a tiny coin in your pocket that could secretly change your life forever. Stop scrolling, because this dime might be worth far more than you think. What if I told you a simple 1981 D coin could hide a shocking secret? Most people ignore it, but collectors are desperately searching for it right now. You are about to discover one of the most misunderstood coins in American history. The 1981 D Roosevelt dime looks ordinary at first glance, almost forgettable, like millions of others that pass through vending machines, cash registers, and old piggy banks. But hidden inside this small piece of copper and nickel is a story of American minting history, precision engineering, and rare mistakes that can turn something common into something extraordinary. And the shocking truth is that most people have no idea what they are holding when they see one. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his passing. His connection to the March of Dimes campaign made the dime a natural choice, symbolizing hope and resilience. By 1981, the United States Mint was already deep into the clad coin era, meaning silver had long been replaced with a copper core layered with nickel. The 1981 D dime was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by a small D mint mark on the obverse side, just above the date. It was never meant to be rare. It was produced in massive numbers for everyday circulation, designed to pass through millions of hands without a second thought. But what most people never realize is that even in mass production, perfection is impossible. The Denver Mint in 1981 was striking coins at high speed, and even the smallest variation in pressure, die alignment, or metal flow could create something unusual. The coin itself weighs 2.27 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, with John R. Sinek's iconic portrait of Roosevelt on the front and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the back, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Yet within this familiar design lies the possibility of something rare, subtle minting errors and high-grade conditions that collectors hunt with intense passion. At first, the 1981 D dime seems ordinary in every way, but the real value begins to emerge when you understand grading. Coins that survive in flawless, untouched condition, known as mint state, are dramatically more desirable than worn circulation pieces. And when certain dimes show a sharp, fully defined torch design on the reverse, especially with clearly separated horizontal bands, they are classified as full torch examples. These small details can turn a simple 10-cent coin into a collector's obsession. Now imagine a coin like this, preserved perfectly for over 4 decades, untouched by wear, still shining with original mint luster. In rare cases like that, collectors have seen values climb to astonishing levels, even reaching around $569,000 in extraordinary error-related scenarios or elite-grade specimens that defy expectations. It sounds unbelievable for something that once bought just a stick of gum or a soda, but in the world of numismatics, condition and rarity rewrite history. To understand why, you have to picture what was happening in 1981. The United States was dealing with inflation pressures, rising production demands, and a booming need for coinage circulation. The Denver Mint was producing coins at full capacity, meaning quality control had to move quickly. This environment created the perfect conditions for rare anomalies: off-center strikes, double dies, weak strikes on the torch bands, and subtle misalignments that only sharp-eyed collectors would notice decades later. As time passed, most of these coins entered circulation, were spent, scratched, and lost to everyday use. But a small fraction remained untouched, forgotten in bankrolls, stored in drawers, or sealed in old coin jars. These survivors became the hidden gems of modern collecting. And today, even experienced collectors still search through rolls of dimes hoping to find a perfectly preserved 1981 D specimen that reveals those crisp, original details. One of the most fascinating aspects of this coin is its mint mark placement. Unlike earlier Roosevelt dimes, the 1981 D carries its mint mark on the obverse side above the date. It is a small detail, but for collectors, it is a crucial identifier. It confirms not only the minting location, but also helps narrow down varieties and potential error classifications. Something as simple as a slightly repunched mint mark or a faint doubling in the date can dramatically increase collector interest. And then there are the stories that fuel the obsession. Imagine a collector flipping through a routine batch of dimes, expecting nothing unusual, only to notice one coin that looks slightly different under magnification. The torch bands are sharper than normal. The luster is untouched. The strike is unusually clean for a coin pulled from circulation. That single moment of recognition can change everything, turning a forgotten coin into a prized discovery. But here is where the real tension builds. Because most 1981 D dimes are still worth only face value. That is what makes this search so addictive. It is not guaranteed treasure. It is the possibility of it. And that possibility is what keeps collectors searching, examining, and hoping. Even professional graders emphasize that surface condition is everything. A coin with heavy scratches, wear, or dulling loses almost all premium value. But a perfectly preserved example, especially one with strong eye appeal and full strike definition, becomes something entirely different. It transforms from currency into history frozen in metal. And now, imagine holding one of the finest known examples in existence. A coin so sharp, so well preserved, and so rare in its condition that collectors have valued exceptional pieces up to $80,000 at the very top end of the market. Not because it is gold, not because it is silver, but because it represents survival, perfection, and scarcity combined into something smaller than a thumbnail. So the next time you come across a handful of change, don't rush past it. Slow down. Look closely. That small silver-colored dime dated 1981 with a tiny D might not be just another coin. It could be a hidden piece of numismatic history waiting to be rediscovered. And if you enjoyed uncovering this story, make sure to subscribe, because the next coin we explore might be sitting in your collection right now, silently waiting to reveal its secret. You are probably holding coins right now without even thinking about them. Maybe in your pocket, your car, or a jar at home. But what if one of those ordinary-looking coins was actually something special, something that most people overlook every single day? The 2005 Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that blends perfectly into everyday life, yet quietly carries a story that many collectors are still uncovering. At first glance, it looks completely normal. A small silver-colored coin, Roosevelt's portrait on the front, a torch surrounded by olive and oak branches on the back. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic. Just another dime passing through millions of hands in 2005. But behind this simplicity lies a deeper story of modern minting, production precision, and hidden variations that can make even recent coins surprisingly desirable. The Roosevelt dime series itself began in 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader who symbolized strength during one of America's most difficult eras. By 2005, the design had already been in circulation for nearly 6 decades, yet it still carried the same symbolic meaning: liberty, peace, and unity represented through the torch, olive branch, and oak branch. The 2005 D version was struck at the Denver Mint, marked by a small D on the obverse side near the date, confirming its origin. This coin belongs to the modern clad coinage era, meaning it is not made of silver, but instead composed of a copper core layered with a copper-nickel outer coating. It weighs 2.27 grams and measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter. These specifications may sound ordinary, but they are part of a highly controlled minting process designed for consistency across billions of coins. In 2005, the United States Mint was operating with advanced technology, producing coins at extremely high speed to meet national circulation demands. Every dime had to pass strict quality checks, but even in modern systems, perfection is never guaranteed. Small variations in pressure, striking speed, or die condition can create subtle differences that only experienced collectors notice years later. The fascinating part about the 2005 D dime is that it is not rare in production, but it becomes interesting in condition and detail. Coins that survive in flawless, mint state condition, never circulated, never scratched, never exposed to wear, can become significantly more valuable than their face value suggests. Especially when they show strong luster and full strike details, collectors begin to pay attention. One of the most important features collectors examine is the sharpness of the torch on the reverse side. The vertical torch lines and horizontal bands must be fully visible and well separated to achieve what is known as a full torch designation. This detail is not easy to find in every coin, especially those that have been through circulation. When it appears clearly, it signals a higher quality strike and increases collector interest. Now imagine discovering a 2005 D dime that looks different under magnification. The surface is unusually clean. The strike is sharper than normal. The torch bands appear fully separated with almost perfect definition. This is the kind of small detail that turns a common coin into something collectors stop and study carefully. And here is where things start to become more interesting. While most of these dimes are still worth face value, certain high-grade examples and rare minting variations can climb in value significantly. In rare collector markets and exceptional grading cases, some specimens have been estimated around a surprising $1,250, depending on condition, strike quality, and rarity factors. It is not the norm, but it is enough to make collectors pay attention every time they see a clean example. But the real story of the 2005 D dime is not just about value. It is about survival. Think about how many of these coins were released into circulation. Millions upon millions entered vending machines, cash registers, parking meters, and pocket change across the country. Most of them were scratched, worn down, or lost forever in everyday use. Only a small fraction managed to remain untouched, preserved in original mint condition. That is what makes coin collecting so powerful. It is not just about finding something old. It is about finding something that survived exactly as it was originally created. A coin that still carries its original shine after 2 decades has quietly escaped the fate of millions of others. Collectors often describe the search for modern coins like this as a needle in a haystack experience. You could go through hundreds of dimes and find nothing special. Then suddenly, one coin catches your eye. The luster looks different. The strike feels sharper. The details seem unusually crisp. That single moment is what keeps collectors searching for hours without giving up. The Denver Mint mark on this coin also plays an important role in identification. It confirms not only where the coin was made, but also helps collectors categorize it among other variations. Some subtle differences between Denver and Philadelphia strikes can influence desirability, especially when comparing high-grade specimens. As time passes, more and more 2005 D dimes disappear into circulation wear, meaning that well-preserved examples naturally become harder to find. This gradual loss of condition is what slowly builds long-term collector interest. What seems common today can feel surprisingly scarce decades later. And here is the truth most people never realize. Value in coins is not always about age. It is about condition, rarity and preservation, and collector demand. Even a relatively modern coin like this can become part of a serious collection if it meets the right standards. Now imagine holding one of the finest known examples of the 2005 D dime. The surface is untouched, the details are razor sharp, and the torch design looks almost sculpted rather than stamped. In the highest collector grades, exceptional examples like this have reached values close to $40,000 in rare market situations, not because of the metal itself, but because of perfection in preservation. So the next time you receive change at a store or find old coins lying around, take a second look. That small 2005 D dime might not be just another piece of currency. It might be a surviving example of precision minting history, quietly waiting for someone to recognize its hidden story. And if you enjoyed this discovery, don't forget to subscribe, because the next coin we reveal might already be sitting in your home, completely unnoticed, holding another secret worth uncovering.